Friends, welcome to Bank Exam Cafe. In today's episode of linear equations in two variables, we are going to see what is consistent and inconsistent equations. Previously, we have uploaded 11 parts on the word problems from the linear equation. The links of all these parts will be provided in the description box, and I request you to watch all these parts so that your idea about the word problems will get more and more clear. Now let us move further with the consistent and inconsistent equations. Here let us see there are two equations, a1x plus b1y plus c1 is equal to 0. This is the first equation. And a2x plus b2y plus c2 is equal to 0. This is the second equation. And friends, if we plot the graph of these two equations, then three possibilities occur. The first possibility will be the two lines will intersect each other at one point. The second possibility will be that the both lines will coincide with each other. It means the one line will lie on the another line. And the third possibility will be that the two lines do not intersect each other, means that two lines will be parallel. So let us see one by one. Suppose here two lines intersect each other at one point and the coordinates of that points are alpha and beta. Correct. Then that point of intersection and its coordinates will be called as the solution of that two equations, and which is called as the zeros of the polynomial or the roots of the equation. Zeros of the equation or the roots of the equation. So here this alpha and beta will be the solution of this equation, and such equation will have only one solution, and that is called as unique solution. Unique solution. It means that when the two lines intersect each other at one point, then there will be a unique solution, means there will be one solution. Now see the second condition. In second condition, the two lines coincide with each other. It means that each point lie on the another corresponding point of the another line, so that there will be so many lines, and since this is a line, lines do not have the end point, so there will be so many pairs where the lines are intersecting each other, and so there will be number of infinitely many solutions. And therefore when the two lines coincide with each other, there will be infinitely many solutions. And in the third condition, since the two lines do not intersect each other, it means it has no solution. So the third possibility will be no solution. So friends, when the two lines will intersect each other, then there will be a unique solution. It means only one solution. When the two lines coincide with each other, then there will be infinitely many solutions. And when the two lines do not meet each other, it means they are parallel, then the two equations will have no solution. Now the condition for consistency is that the condition for consistent equation is that the equation should have at least one solution. At least one solution. So here the equations has a one solution. So we will call this as consistent equation. And since it is said that at least one equation, at least one solution, and here there are infinitely many solutions, means more than one solution. So this type of pair of linear equation will also called as the consistent equation. And this has no solution. what is the definition? At least one solution should be there, and this has no solution, and therefore we will call it as inconsistent equations. Inconsistent pair of equations. So when there will be a one solution, it means the two lines intersect at one point, then that pair of linear equations will be called as the consistent equations. If the two lines coincide with each other, it means if there are infinitely many solutions, then that pair of linear equations will also called as the consistent equation. And if the two lines are parallel, it means there is no solution, then that pair of linear equations will be called as inconsistent equation. So let us see the definition of consistent and inconsistent equation. So here the system of simultaneous linear equations is said to be consistent if it has at least one solution. Note down, this is very important. So a system of simultaneous linear equations is said to be consistent if it has at least one solution. So if there is at least one solution, then we call it as a consistent equation. And if there is no solution, a system of simultaneous linear equations is said to be inconsistent if it has no solution. It means if there is no solution, then that pair of linear equation or the system of simultaneous linear equation will be called as the inconsistent equations. Now friends, let us see the conditions for consistent and inconsistent equations. Graphical conditions, we have seen that if the lines are intersecting each other, then that equation will be that pair of linear equation will be called as consistent equations. And then if it is coincident, then that pair of linear equation will also be called as the consistent pair of linear equations. And if the two lines are parallel, then we say that the inconsistent pair of equations. Now here we will see by comparing the ratios, means the coefficients of the x and y. So if the two equations are a1x plus b1y plus c1 is equal to 0, and another equation is a2x plus b2y plus c2 that is equal to 0. These are the two equations. Then we will see the first condition. First condition. Here is the first condition. The first condition, by comparing the ratios, that if a1 upon a2 is not equal to b1 upon b2, is not equal to b1 upon b2. If this is the condition, a1 upon a2 means the ratio of the coefficients of x and the ratio of the coefficients of y. If these two ratios are not equal, then graphically we represent that the lines will be intersecting. The two lines will be intersecting. And the algebraic interpretation will be what? It will have a unique solution. Unique solution. And since it has a unique solution, then that pair of linear equations will be consistent. The pair of linear equation will be consistent. Now see the second condition. What is the second condition? If a1 upon a2, if a1 upon a2 is equal to b1 upon b2, b1 upon b2 is equal to c1 upon c2. If all these three ratios are equal, it means the ratio of the coefficients of x, ratio of the coefficients of y, and the ratio of the constant terms, if all these three ratios are equal, then the lines will be coincident lines. Then the lines will be coincident lines. It means it will have infinitely many solutions. Infinitely many solutions. It will have infinitely many solutions. and since it has more than one solution, it will be also called as the consistent equations. And the third condition is that if a1 upon a2 is equal to b1 upon b2 is not equal to c1 upon c2, it means that the ratio of the coefficients of x and the ratio of the coefficients of y, if these two ratios are equal and the ratio of the constant terms is not equal, then it will be a parallel lines. Then graphical representation will be what? The both equations will have parallel lines, and since both are parallel lines, it will have no solution. It will have no solution, and since it has no solutions, that pair of linear equations will be called as inconsistent equation. It will be called as inconsistent equation. So just revise, if a1 upon a2 is not equal to b1 upon b2, then the lines will be intersecting. It means it has a unique solution, and that will be called as the consistent equations. Second condition is that if a1 upon a2 is equal to b1 upon b2 is equal to c1 upon c2, then both the lines will be coincident lines, and since both the lines are coincident lines, it will have infinitely many solutions, and since there are solutions, it will be called as the consistent equations. And the third condition is that a1 upon a2 is equal to b1 upon b2 is not equal to c1 upon c2, then the both equations will have parallel lines, and since it is parallel lines, there will be no solution, and since no solution, it will be called as the inconsistent equations. And so friends, now here we will stop, and in the next episode we will see the problems related to all these types of questions, that is consistent and inconsistent equations, intersecting and parallel lines, unique and infinitely many solutions, and no solution. So friends, I hope you must have enjoyed this video. If yes, please like the video, share it with your friends, and do not forget to subscribe the channel. Thank you very much for watching this video.